Okay guys, this is the topic for part 1 from properties of the modulus function. So on this chapter we are starting on topic 4, okay, and we will introduce to you a new type of function known as the modulus function. Okay, so basically the idea is the idea of the modulus function. So key question, how to answer modulus x, this is equals to x if x is greater than equals to 0, and negative of x if x is less than 0. Okay, what are the properties of the modulus function? I will serve to answer this later. It will be at the bottom of page 2. Okay, so next, modulus, what we do is we write basically like 2 slash. Okay, so a modulus basically is always to take the absolute value or the positive value. So let's say if I give you a number, say negative 3. Let's say if this is what I call modulus, I modulus a number, then what we do is we always take the absolute value. In this case it's just 3, so we always see it as positive. What about if it's positive? The modulus of 3 is still equals to 3 lah. Okay, so in general, let's say if we generalize this, right, then modulus of x in general, I mean if it's equals to if x is positive, then e is equals to x itself. Okay, example like modulus of 3 is positive, right? So it's just 3. What if is x is negative? Then we can say that it's the negative of x. Example, the modulus of negative 3, because x is negative, right, it's the same as the negative of minus 3, which is 3. Okay, can so let me just go to the official definition. Now we define the numerical value of x to be its absolute value or its modulus. We call this mod x. Okay, we always call it a mod x or modulus of x, or the absolute value. And the definition, as I've shown earlier, is as follows. Another pictorial way to look at the answer is that modulus x can be considered as the distance. So distance, as we know, will always be positive, so it's between x and 0 on the number line. Okay, I say again, we can always consider modulus x as the distance between x and 0 on the number line. For example, negative 5, you can see that the distance between negative 5 to 0 is actually 5 units. The distance between 5 to 0 is also 5 units. Okay, so a distance cannot be negative. Another important of the feature you must know is that modulus x will always be greater than or equals to 0. Okay, so it's very, very important. Okay, modulus, just think of it as very, very positive functions. They are always greater than or equals to 0. Okay, the smallest value of mod x will be 0. So with this idea in mind, right, you give question 1.1, 1.2, 1.3 a try. So maybe you can pause the video now and try question 1.1, 1.2, and 1.3. Okay, so now I'll just go through question 1.1. Okay, so evaluate the following, leaving your answers in exact form, right? Okay, so you can see that the modulus of pi is basically just pi, since pi is positive. Okay, so we know that whatever is inside pi, this is positive. Now negative 0.15 is negative, so I mean basically, so again the modulus of it is just the absolute value itself. Ln of 1/3, this is the same as ln of 3 to the power minus 1, but the power law is the same as minus ln 3, and the modulus of negative ln 3 is just ln 3 itself. And then for D, the negative of negative 2 over 7. Well, just take note that because mod here, this itself is always positive, right? So negative, this is negative of 2 over 7. Okay, because you are taking the negative of a mod function, which will come out to be negative. Alright, so just to be careful, don't be tricked. Minus times the modulus, which is positive, will give you a negative answer. Okay, so do check your answers for question 1.1. You can pause the video now. Okay, question 1.2. Okay, very simply, we are asked to evaluate the following: negative 18 plus 11. So I think it's not too hard. So for 2a, this is just the same as negative 18 plus 11 is a negative mod of negative 7. Now you can see that since it's negative, this is just the same as basically just 7. and this is the basically 18 plus 11, which is 29, and negative 3, negative 7, this is basically mod of 21, which is 21, and this is just basically 3 times 7, which is also equals to 21. So that's for question 1.2. Alright, easy. Okay, question 1.3, well, this is where we probably, if you're not so familiar with the value of pi, maybe you can go into the calculator and key in. So let's look at A. So we look at mod of negative 2 pi. So mod of 2 pi is just 2 pi. And if you look at negative pi plus 4, negative pi plus 4, if you just take your calculator and you key in, right, this itself, right, is actually positive. So mod of negative pi plus 4, because you know that this portion here, this is actually positive, right, is actually equals to just negative pi plus 4. Okay, so let me write it as 4 minus pi instead. This is the same as the modulus of 4 minus 3 pi. Now if you go to your calculator, you will find that this value here, 4 minus 3 pi, this is actually negative, right? So meaning, since it's negative, the modulus of it will be like the negative of 4 minus 3 pi, which is just equals to 3 pi minus 4. For B, similarly in the calculator, I hope you can see that square root 2 is about 1.414. So 1 minus square root 2 is actually negative. And 1 plus square root 2, of course, is definitely positive. So because of that, 1 minus square root 2 is the same. Modulus is the same as square root 2 minus 1. Minus modulus is just minus 1 minus square root 2. Okay, so this is just minus 1 minus square root 2. Now just open the bracket and simplify your answers. And your answer just turns out to be basically minus 2. Okay, then for C, you just take a careful look, right? That I'll just show you over here. Now square root x, because they tell you that in this domain x greater than 2, right? Or x plus 3 will just be x plus 3 since x is positive. And 1 minus 2x, right? Because x is greater than 2, therefore when x is greater than 2, you know that 1 minus 2x will be less than 0, right? So I hope you are able to see this. If x is greater than 2, it means that 2x is greater than 4. It means that if I minus both sides, okay, 4 minus 2x is less than 0. Minus 3 on both sides again, you can see that in fact 1 minus 2x is less than 0. In fact, it's less than negative 3. So because of that, the modulus of 1 minus 2x will be 2x minus 1. Okay, because 1 minus 2x is less than 0 given in this domain. Now x plus 2x will give you 3x. 3 minus 1 will give you 2. Okay, so this is for question 1.3, which I hope you are comfortable with it. Okay, can okay, so yep, this all for part 1. I hope you enjoyed the video and do tune in to wait for part 2, who's coming soon.